Nikki Lewis, and welcome to the Verizon Center. The Washington Mystics are hosting the Atlanta Dream. We have Tank, Genuine, John Wall in the building enjoying the game.
Well, obviously a terrific win, badly needed for a lot of reasons. We only played 2 games, I think, in like a 16 or 17-day period here, and it's both against them. So we don't play again until next Wednesday, so we can feel good for several days. It's miserable otherwise. Defense and lack of turnovers was the difference. I mean, we held them to 36% from the floor. Not that we shot a lot better, but we got ourselves to the line and made them. But we don't turn the ball over tonight, and that makes a huge difference. They count on getting steals from teams to win games, and 10 turnovers is huge. And we had a bunch of people step up, but I think we learned a valuable lesson, or at least I hope we did, about how to defend them and their strengths. They lead the league in points in the paint, and they still had a large amount, but we forced them to take a bunch of threes, and that's not their strength.
You mentioned defense. You pointed to anything specifically? Angel didn't have a particularly good.
Well, we just tried to crowd her. I mean, she's really good at getting in the seams between defenders. I mean, she just has a knack of splitting defenders, and tonight we didn't give her that opportunity very many times. And you try to make her into a passer. Early in the game, she passed, but she was able to pass behind us a little bit. And in the second half, we closed down a little bit the lane a little bit earlier before she got to our post players. So, made them work for everything they got, and the result was good. We other than the 1-3 that Tiffany Hayes kind of hit when the game was pretty much decided, I thought that holding a team like them to 13 points in the fourth quarter was a good sign. The fact of the matter that they were in the teens in every quarter tonight was a much better defensive effort by us than the last time we played them. Well, I mean, we showed them a lot of tape this week, probably 50-50 good and bad, and showed them the results of when they do it the right way, the way we've prepared, and then show it to them when we have a lazy possession or we don't dig in with all 5 defenders. And to stop a team like that, it has to be a total team defensive effort. You can't have one person take a possession off because they make you pay, or they get to the free throw line because you foul because you're late. And so we basically tried to say, hey, this is the wrong way, but here's the right way, and you're capable of doing it because we can prove it. We have it on tape that you did it right too. You can skew the tape any way you want to as a coach, so you can make it look as good or bad as you want to, but we tried to show them a balance. And if you buy into doing it the right way, you give yourself a chance. That doesn't mean you're going to win, but you give yourself a chance.
What do you think about the game today?
It's fun. I want the Mystics to win, so I'm glad to see them up. But I think they could have closed the quarter a little better. But main thing is just come out and show support and hope that they win the game.
Do you have a favorite Mystics player?
I like Ivy Latta a lot. She plays like a man. Like, she has that type of dog, and I guess she's from South Carolina, so she has that Carolinian thing inside her that brings the dog out. So I really like that a lot.
She's an excellent floor general. She commands and demands control of the floor, which I think is great. Well, it's good to see you out here, and we're looking forward to watching you guys this season. Good luck. The Washington Mystics killed it home today here at the Verizon Center against Angel McCoughtry and the Atlanta Dream. Washington Mystics, Monique Curry, 15 points, Ivory Latta, 14 points, and Kia Vaughn, 12 points and 10 rebounds. And Washington Mystics are holding their 4th place in the playoffs. You guys stay tuned for more action. Back to you guys at the studio.
Yay! Awesome. All right, so that was, of course, our Mystics beat reporter, as we call her, Nikki Lewis, with a great story on the Mystics and, of course, John Wall, max contract. But we've talked enough about him. We're going to go back to our conversation about Miss Juanita Ward and women's basketball in general. Juanita, are you with us?
Yes.
All right,
yes.
So before we went to break, this question kind of crossed my mind. I feel like when we were playing, we were kind of right on this brink in terms of women's college basketball starting to become more popular. I mean, what do you think of women's college basketball and the state of the game as it is today?
Most definitely, because you had players that were on the verge of about to dunk. I mean, and it's evolving. I mean, you have girls that can dunk. You have girls that are crossing over like Allen Iverson. You have girls that are being more finesse like Tracy McGrady that's retiring now. I mean, you have females that are starting to make the game, I guess, now more exciting in some people's eyes. However, I mean, it's basketball. It has to change. It's never going to stay the same from the Dr. J era to now the Michael Jordan era. Now, Kobe Bryant and now LeBron James. It has to change. And, when we were playing, I thought that we were, doing our thing and finger rolling the ball in, getting up in there, jumping. And now you have girls that are actually throwing the ball down, as in Brittany Griner. She's, pretty much two-handing the ball, drop step, dunking the ball on anybody.
That she is.
Speaking about the current WNBA, we talk about Brittany Griner got a lot of the publicity, and so does Skylar Diggins from a height perspective. Griner is not putting up the type of numbers that one would have expected. He's not going to score that much when you've got Taurasi on your team.
Right.
But Skylar Diggins is not starting anymore. But the team has done better,
Right.
and actually she's playing well, not having that extra pressure on her. But what I wanted to say, relating to the Brittany Griner thing, they talk about her being 6'8", but there's another 6'8" player on the Tulsa Shock. I forget her name, but she was on the Australian national team.
Ooh.
Yes,
She's a problem.
She is a monster. She's only 22.
Yeah, she's a problem.
And she was the reason they were up by 19 last night on the LA Sparks, and then she sprained her ankle, and the Sparks made their run.
I've had an opportunity to watch her on a couple of occasions, and when you see, because Brittany Griner, to me, she's a good athlete, but she sometimes lumbers down the court. This girl is thicker, bigger. She doesn't lumber down the court, and she is extremely effective in 5 to 7 feet away from the basket. She absolutely knows how to use her body. I am so impressed by her. But we were going on about Brittany Griner and Skylar Diggins. Well, if you guys remember, I was an advocate for Elena Delle Donne a long time ago. I knew she was, because when you watch the skill set that she possesses, it's unmatched. Like, I see people compare her to Dirk Nowitzki. Well, I've been watching a little bit NBA TV. She's more Larry Bird. She can post up, she can rebound, she can facilitate an offense, she can do one dribble pull-up, she can shoot the three on a trail shot. She has the entire arsenal that I haven't seen a player possess to this date at that size. They tried, Candace Parker is a great athlete. She's still not as skilled as Elena Delle Donne. They gave Lauren Jackson a lot of credit for the things that she could do, but she would stay out on the wing instead of posting up. So when you look at a player that can score from every spot on the floor, you have a very special player in that.
Right. Ooh, and that height. Juanita, go ahead. Could you give us that again? We couldn't hear you.
Pick her poise, I think that she has to pick her where she wants to make the decision of scoring. She has an ability. I think that she's going to be a great player in the near future. And I mean, you're right on with it. I mean, she's that type of player that can actually do it all.
Right, and the other thing that Delle Donne can do, from being the player that was the entire roster, she can make tough shots because she's used to being double and triple teamed. So when they try to be physical with her, she's still able to finish.
She's still able to finish, and she doesn't get intimidated. Like, I've seen a couple teams try to beat her up to try to take her out of her game. Then she just gets into another comfort zone. She's like, okay, well, I'm not going to take this beating on the post, but guess what? Your 5-man can't guard me out here. Neither can your 2-man because I'm 6'5". So she picks and chooses what type of poison she's going to inflict upon you. And I love it all because she's so humble. Like the bravado, a lot of players have adopted the bravado that the men play with, and that's nice, and it gets the crowd hyped, but there's nothing better than a humble player to me, a player that just goes out there and gets it done, and at the end of the game, they come out with the W and a tremendous stat line.
Right. Now, Juanita, you've had the opportunity to play in the WNBA and overseas. Talk about the distinction in terms of the overall affinity and appreciation for the women's game overseas as compared to the States. Is there a true difference?
I mean, everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. I mean, as a professional athlete playing basketball in general, you have so many people that are looking up to you, so many people that want you to succeed. And, you hit it right on the point. You have to be humble in all of this because, basketball is something that's given to you. You didn't make it. Only thing you have to do is go out there and take it and take control of what you can. Given the fact that you're playing, in the WNBA or overseas, you have to still go out and perform and make sure that you're playing it to the best of your abilities because people are watching you. They want to see you score. They want to see you play defense. They want to see your team win. Everybody is so excited. You want to give the fans a good show. So you have to go out and perform and make sure that everything that you do is always something that stays on the court when you finish the game, and then when you end the game, you're grateful for the opportunity that was just presented to you.
Now, I got to ask you guys, Janee, to toss it up to the group here. we see these superstars emerging in terms of the big three, which was highly touted going to the WNBA. Great marketing ploy, great young ladies, each for different reasons. But what do you think is happening in terms of the team game? Do you think that we'll start to see some of the things we've seen on the men's side in terms of almost a glorified AAU culture where it's one person kind of stands out and everybody else is a supporting cast? Or do you think that as women we'll be able to maintain the true definition of team?
I think that it has to evolve more, you know. You have to definitely team ball. Definitely team ball. That's how you're going to win basketball games. But at the end of the day, you have to have players on the court that can actually score. You have to have players on the floor that are role players. You know, everything has to play. You know, that's why it's basketball, because every person on your team plays a part in winning the basketball game.
Janee, real quick.
I'm going to say it's going to stay a team game for a while because it hasn't emerged as much as the men's game or, become as quite as popular. But if it ever reaches that level, then you're going to see egos start to take the best and maybe break down a lot of teams as far as chemistry is concerned.
Well, ladies, the chemistry that you displayed tonight was great. You put your collegiate rivalries aside. You all spoke for the greater good of women's basketball and basketball as a whole. I'm just truly excited. Juanita, thanks a lot. Special thanks to your agent, Glenn, and we look forward to speaking to you in the near future.
Thank you so much, and still say that orange is always the best color.
Yeah, love it. Cut her mic. Cut her mic.
Welcome to the ACC.
All right. That's going to
Yes.
do it for this edition.
Closing.
I know you enjoyed it. It was informative and action-packed. And you can look forward for more discussion of the WNBA end of season, off season for the NBA, special features and interviews with the players and coaches from the high school, college, and professional basketball teams in the metropolitan area on future shows.
And for all of you high school athletes out there aspiring to take your game to the next level, remember that getting it done in the classroom is the first key to any success, whether it be athletic or otherwise.
So until next time, I'm Andrew Dyer.
And I'm Monica McNutt.
For the Roundball Report. Good night.